Scott here again, and this is the second video in the Aware Athlete series, and today I'm going to talk about why exercise is secondary in your definition of fitness. So to give a couple of examples of what I'm talking about, let's again go back to where modern humans are said to originate on the savannas of Africa, and a number of books have elaborated on a theory of human development that includes something called persistence hunting, where early humans were able to actually run down an antelope or a very fast prey on a hot day by simply continuing to follow them long enough until the animal died of heat exhaustion, whereas humans are able to sweat prolifically and actually able to carry water with them, especially if they work in a team of several people. So that was a theory, was finally proven, and in the attempt to prove it, Scott Carrier wrote a book on his experiences there. And the first time they chased an antelope in Wyoming, here's what happened. They chased the antelope, it ran away, it stopped a little ways off, rejoining the herd, and they couldn't tell which one they'd chased. So basically, they had to start all over. And they had that experience again and again. And what they found out was they couldn't track which antelope they were chasing long enough to get the job done. So all human endeavors are mind-body endeavors. All of them. It must be so because the mind and body are one. And what they found out was you can't run an antelope to death if you don't have the intellectual, experiential, sensing, intuitive skill of tracking the animal. So all human endeavors are mind-body activities. Exercise, you see, simply being able to run around mindlessly or endlessly cannot run that antelope to exhaustion. You have to present the challenge with your whole mind and body in order to achieve success. Let me give you a more practical example. A little while ago when I was in school, a fellow student and I were assigned a group project, and we decided to analyze the human gait. So since walking and running are both forms of bipedal locomotion, we thought, well, they ought to be fairly similar. But the more we looked at it, the more we saw they just aren't. In walking, you have to have at least one foot on the ground at all times, whereas in running, both feet can be off the ground for a brief period of time. And so when you look at the gait cycle, that really produces a very distinct movement. So some people think that running is very simple. Just go out, you start running, you start exercising, and you can do it. But if that were the case, why are so many people injured? And here's the thing that we discovered. There are fundamental differences in the gait pattern of walking and the gait pattern of running. And here is the fundamental difference in running. And a lot of people don't sense this, they don't do it, and they never do learn to do it. So the fundamental difference is using the psoas muscle to pick up the foot, to raise the knee, and put it back down underneath the hip. And in walking, we more or less swing a somewhat straight leg. In running, there's a particular motion of picking up the foot. That has to be the case so that the foot is picked up, so that during the extension phase, when you leave the ground, both feet can be off the ground. So that is the fundamental difference, and if you do not learn that difference, you will never be a good runner. And that's just another example. I could give many, but that's enough. I want to introduce one more word to you, and that word is potential. Potential, your potential, is what's possible for you. It's what's possible but not yet expressed. Do you ever sense that you could do more, that you could run faster, you could do more of anything that you want, but you don't quite know how to do it? And that's what we're talking about today. So potential is what you could do, what's possible for you, but it's not fully expressed yet. And so exercise becomes secondary to the foundation of learning. And when you present your whole body, mind to the situation, when it's all present, and when you've actually learned a new skill, learned even one fundamental new skill, one fundamental new thing, you can make a breakthrough. And that's what it's all about. All right, well, thanks for listening today. A little bit more to think about, and we'll discuss the Aware Athlete ideas a little bit more in the next video.